Great morning, world! Welcome to the Rise Up with Dragon podcast with your host, Dragon!
Great morning, world. Start off. Oh, that drives chicken crazy when I do things like that. totally against.
It's actually called a hard glottal attack, and as a voiceover.
A hard glottal attack.
As a voiceover artist, that's the worst thing you can do to your voice.
Does anybody out there want to file a complaint about my hard glottal attacks? Because I will accept that complaint and work on it. So great morning, world. Dragon coming at you on this beautiful Friday morning, timestamp the 26th of March. Unbelievable how fast time's flying. So got a great rise up for you, but just to set things up, we are streaming live on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and everything like that. And remember, the reason why I do that, because it makes me totally scared and uncomfortable, and my intention was to grow today. And we're also recording this for our podcast, which is actually really growing fast right now. Very excited about that. So you can download and subscribe. It's free to the Rise Up with Dragon podcast, and that's on iTunes and all other platforms. And as always, we ask for your support in giving us a great rating. It says 5, but throw an intention to give us a 6. And then always leave us a review because that's what makes important people think that we're cool. Am I right, sweetie?
Yes, and the reason why it says our podcast is because I'm the technician behind it.
Yeah, she's a little bit of the technical component. So as always, first of all, Chicken and I are minimalists at a time where we're experiencing the highest financial freedom. So we're very, very uncommon, and we'll talk a little bit about uncommonality. But we've spent our lives working towards this place where we can have everything that we desire, and here we are, and we've decided to have nothing at that time. Well, but I shouldn't say nothing, because what we've actually decided to have is the things that matter most, which is creating memories and adventure and putting family first and ourselves first. And to that point, we've created a lot of fun things. By the way, every time I make a sound like that, you could be sure Chicken is going to obsessively remove that from the podcast later.
I'm gonna try my best.
Like the ding of my email coming in. Very unprofessional.
Yeah, I just quickly wanted to touch on minimalism for a second, because It's all about collecting memories, not things.
Right.
And things are actually very much attached to anxiety. A lot of people experience anxiety because they have too many things around them.
Right.
Right? And so I have a little challenge for everybody.
Things are connected to anxiety. Isn't that true?
Yeah, because think about it. When you have so many things in your house that it's difficult for you to clean, or it's difficult for you to feel organized, it causes anxiety, it causes stress.
Right.
And overwhelmed, you can't focus on the task at hand. And
Keep something in mind while you're talking,
Mhm.
that the people on the video can't hear you too well, nor the clubhouse.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
so
sorry.
we speak a little bit louder.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that I have a little task for everybody for the next month, and I've been inspired by the Minimalists,
Right.
and you can find their podcast. And I know that I'm just going to plug them because I love those two guys.
They are amazing.
Demas and gosh, I don't remember the other guy's name now. But they have a 30-day challenge. So day 1, you throw up one thing that you don't use.
Right.
Day 2, 2 things. Day 3, 3.
And you
then
just progressively get rid of stuff.
Progressively get rid of stuff, give it away, think about who can benefit more from it. It can even be just like a plastic bottle that's been standing in your kitchen.
Well,
for no reason.
to that point, the first thing that we did, and we're getting carried away because I have to get into the Rise Up and we want to talk about this crazy dream. To that point, we just started looking around and just getting rid of anything that doesn't matter. Money, we didn't get rid of money because money matters, but we're not buying stuff that doesn't matter with our money, hence the reason we became minimalist. I just want to quickly, first of all, we have a Clubhouse room open live right now. If you're listening to the podcast, that's irrelevant, but you can follow me in Clubhouse at Make Sense, and that also that name that I have, my personality is Dragon, but the name that I carry on Clubhouse makes sense. And our club room is called Make Sense, which sponsors our Clubhouse. Our club is Make Sense, which sponsors our rooms. So we've got that room open right now, and I'll just give a shout out to Ryan, Lisa, Janice, Tamsin, the great Tamsin Astor wrote The Force of Habit. And I run a Clubhouse room with her on Mondays at noon, which is crazy awesome. Tina, Sarah, and Dana. So that's in Clubhouse. So if you're watching this live right now and you want to jump into Clubhouse, we're going to do an after party there. And I see everybody chiming in. I see Annalie, Dave, Liz, Annalie again, and Liz again. And good to see everybody. Great morning. So before I get into today, because I want to go over the model morning today, and I'm going to lay it out for you, the science, art, and philosophy of kicking ass by starting your day off right. I'm going to share that with you. But before I do, Chicken and I, we also on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we have a Clubhouse room called Rise Up with Chicken and Dragon at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we expose people to the conversation that we have in the morning, where we're working on our relationship and we're getting in harmony, right? We're out of our heads and harmonizing into our hearts. So we let people in on that conversation, and that has been awesome. So if you're somebody that wants to really, really thrive in relationships, whether you're looking for one or you're trying to work on one, we invite you, your partner, your future partner, to join us on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in Clubhouse only at 10 a.m. Eastern. So one of the things that we do, and we got this idea from the amazing Jim Quick, who I interviewed, and you can see his interview, best-selling author of the book Limitless. So that's in iTunes. Download that one. Just brain warp stuff. But Jim speaks a lot about the fact that there's a lot of value in remembering your dreams and going over the dreams. So I said to Chicken this morning, I said, I had the weirdest dream last night. It always starts off like that. Like, I had a really boring dream. No, we say I had the weirdest dream last night. And I told her that my dream was that we were flying, which we do very often. And we always we're minimalist, but we like to fly first class and business class and stuff like that. But this was different. This particular plane, I told her, had a first class, a business class, and an economy, but then it had this other class. And that was the class that we were in. And it was just really, really strange and the reason why I'm sharing it with you is just to make you think about something crazy today. But also, this is live Chicken and I interacting a little bit. So I just basically told her that this particular class, there were no seats or anything. There were just beds and mattresses on the floor with messy blankets. And it kind of looked a little bit like a dorm room. And I wasn't really sure if it was like an expensive class or really cheap, but my observation was, is this like safe? And then the other thing I was thinking about was, it looks really comfortable. Like, even though they were just like mattresses, potentially even dirty mattresses. Like, remember in college, the mattresses that didn't even have the sheets on them and stuff? So it was kind of like that, but we were totally happy. And then Chicken looks at me and says that she had the same exact dream, very similar, like what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, and the plane opened up like a Chinook. So at the back.
A Chinook?
It was like the
What is a Chinook?
Well, a Chinook is like a military plane. Those really cool, they almost look like submarine shaped planes.
Oh, okay. So like opens up in the back like a military
exactly
plane.
Like how they would jump out of the back.
Which would make all of the mattresses fly out.
Exactly.
Right.
It was highly unsafe, but I think all we wanted was to know that we can sleep through the night.
And we did.
Because that's a big concern for me.
Well, see, that was the thing is I think I was just valuing sleep in general because I was really enjoying that. So great morning, everybody. I'm going to jump into this rise up that I call the model morning. What I ask of you always, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share something that has dramatically changed my life that I have received and I have processed. I've written it down. I'm going to unpack it and offer it to you. Just remember that while you're in the learning process, We have a tendency of just learning something and then going around as if we just know it. Learning is a distraction if you don't put action into it, right? Learning requires action in order to gain traction. So if you look at the word distraction, you've got distraction, which means that if you learn something and just walk around with that information, you're moving away from your goal. But if you put action behind it, actually by doing these things with consistency, what happens is you gain traction and you move towards your goal. Very, very big difference between goal setters and goal getters, and the word that connects those two is action. So just quickly, very excited coming up. I speak a lot about this in April. Looks like both of these are going to be in April. We've got two really, really cool guests coming. So we got this guy, right? Because Dragon never gives up, right? When somebody says no to me, I go, oh, okay, so not today, tomorrow. So this is one of the most fantastic books I've ever read, Indistractable, by the amazing Nir Eyal, who ironically lives in Singapore, which is really cool. So he's going to be on the show, interview him, and you don't want to miss that one. But my idol, like, I always talk with Chicken about, like, she always says to me, who would you want on this show if you could have anybody? And it's not like Mick Jagger or like Brad Pitt or Matthew McConaughey, although I'd love to have them on the show, or Oprah.
But you might have my actor friend on the show from Criminal Minds.
Yeah, well, I'm an actor from Criminal Minds. But what I'm really interested in is making sense of things and understanding. And there's a couple of people out there that I am just massively fanning over, and one of them is the amazing Donald Hoffman. This guy is challenging everything that you were taught. His book is called The Case Against Reality. This guy's a cognitive scientist and psychologist at University of California, Irvine. Just look him up. Donald Hoffman, look at his TED Talks and everything. Unbelievable. And I reached out to him as a fan, and he told me I'm in. He's going to come on the Rise Up with Dragon show. We're going to interview this guy, and you're going to have like gray matter leaking out of your brains, and you're going to realize that everything that you've been programmed to believe might not be true. This guy explains with science and mathematics how this whole thing that we're experiencing here might actually just be a game and a simulation. Whether you buy into that or not, this guy's going to force you to recognize that it might be. So anyway, super psyched about that. So a couple quick quotes. I just remembered, I'm always trying to have a mortality mentality, so I just wrote this down. These are the days that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Put a little bit more value on your day today, not just as something that's going to pass by to get to tomorrow. These are the days that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. I was riding Peloton this morning as part of my routine, and that little red knob, and I was looking at the concept of turning up resistance, and I just wrote, turn up the resistance to leverage your success today, right? Increase the resistance a little bit in your life today. And then I was listening to Voodoo Child the other day by Jimi Hendrix, and one of the lines that he says that I just love, and that's my intention for today. He says, he says, I stand up next to a mountain and I knock it down with the back of my hand. That mountain that's in front of you, you could try to climb it and overcome it and conquer it. Imagine just the visual of taking the back of your hand and smacking it. I just love that. So the late, great Jimi Hendrix. All right, so let's talk about the model morning right now. And once again, hello to the people that are chiming in live and commenting. Let us know where you're from by posting. Push the share button, get this word out, because there's always a chance that Dragon will say something unique and awesome. And you'll see on my Instagram today that Chicken and I were guests on the Jerry Springer show, and we never even knew that. But people started to record the video that they saw on TV, so that's going to be on my Instagram today. You're going to crack up. So anyway, let's talk about the model morning. So first and foremost, let's get the headspace right. So to live an uncommon life. Right? An uncommon life is uncommon because it's abnormal and uncommon in this world to live an extraordinary life. We all know that we can, but it's uncommon, meaning most people die with their song still in them. So to live an uncommon life requires an uncommon mindset. So we have to challenge things today. So as we move into this model morning, I want you to really embrace why it's important to step into an uncommon structure and challenge things in light of what I said about Donald Hoffman. Maybe everything that we think and we know and we do, maybe it's not right. Maybe it's not in support. So we have to do things uncommon, abnormal. The most successful people in the world are uncommon. So to live an uncommon life requires an uncommon mindset, an uncommon faith, and uncommon actions, and uncommon consistency. So whatever you did yesterday, you can look at it as ramping it up, or let's make it a little bit uncommon as we set up our model morning. So there's an extremely valuable piece of real estate. I really want you to embrace this because this is something we all share in common. There's a really, really valuable piece of real estate in the first few minutes and hour of our mornings where we can win the day. Now, sometimes we look at the 24 hours and we have gratitude, it's a gift, we have the 24 hours, but if we don't set up the first second, the first 5 seconds, the first 15 seconds, the first hour of our day, sometimes the day will dictate our reality that day rather than us dictating it. So I just want you to look at that valuable real estate that sometimes you don't take advantage of, that moment when we move from unconscious to conscious. How do you know that? You open your eyes, right? You realize that you're still alive, right? And your heart is beating and your lungs are breathing. So the value of winning the morning is that you begin seeing, this is big, write this down. Listen to this, Chicky. The value, what's the value? What the value of winning your morning is that you can begin seeing reality more accurately, right? I believe a lot of people are seeing reality inaccurately, meaning whenever somebody comes to me and they say the sky is falling or something like that, my reaction is it? You know, I always like to check facts and look around things. I'm not saying yes or no, but think about it. You win the morning, it helps you see reality more accurately and decide on a reality and see a reality that is in support both of your survival that day, but also of what I call your thrival. Yeah. Thrival, meaning that it supports your desired states, i.e. goals, right? So setting up your morning is not just about having a good day, but it's also setting up a morning that dictates an amazingly powerful response system to the uncontrollable things that are going to happen, the happenings, but also sets you up with a reality that's in support of where you're headed, right? So the reality that we see, I'm so crazy when I write this stuff, but it actually makes sense. The reality that we see is it the end all reality? So what I mean is, when you claim that it's a good day or a bad day, is that true? Because I could show you somebody else that's walking right beside you with the same exact opportunities and potential of you that might not think the same. You know, so the reality that you consider reality is the end all is zero, right? Due to the variables of our analytical minds and programming that affects our perception of reality. So that's why two humans, like I said, can be in the same situation and have the same opportunity, yet experience different realities. So the reason why I'm setting this up like this is I just want you to know that there's always a good day and a bad day happening. They're both fantasies, right? What I'm showing you now is that you get to control and dictate which fantasy you're going to live that day, right? Because if you tell me it's a great day, I'll say, is it, right? If you tell me that it's a crappy day, I'll say, is it? Because when you're looking at the great day, you just don't see the bad because you've chosen to, so it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy to think that there's only one polar side of your reality. So I like to live in the middle. People ask me, Dragon, how you doing? And I say, it's all good. So it starts, all of this starts, that valuable real estate I was talking about, it starts with your rise up. And I'm going to give you the steps that I use for my rise up, and you can use it any way you want. You don't have to do Dragon's rise up, but I'm going to give you structure, how I win every day. And I get to this place right now where I come to you and I've got this day already owned by me. By the way, this shirt that I'm wearing, this tie-dye, it says JCDC. So Dragon plays a little bit of guitar. Typically, I like to come on stage when everybody's too drunk to understand if I'm good or not. But I used to have a band called JCDC, which, because I was a doctor of chiropractic, so it was JCDC. So anyway, we used to have these events when I was younger and just crazy, called JC Stock. Little bit of ego behind those events. Like I named an event after us. Okay, so it starts with our rise up. When your unconscious mind wakes up and loads your program. So the first thing I want you to recognize is when you go from eyes closed to eyes open, right? I want you to recognize that that's the moment that you're starting to go from unconscious to conscious and you're starting to load your program. This is heavy. Come with me here. So while it's loading, while that program's loading, it's crucial to recognize that the program, if you allow your program to load, right, that program that's loading is from yesterday. Think about this for a second. If I just wake up and I go, load program, that program is not current. You're loading yesterday's program and most probably is not suited for today. I kind of had this idea when I thought about that, about like all of this vaccination stuff, how we have a tendency of getting a vaccination for like the flu or something like that, but then we find out next year that that vaccination is not suitable for the new strand. I think that we wake up every day with a new strand of life, and yesterday's program is not suitable to crush today's life, right? So that's why I'm telling you this is so valuable that you capture these first couple of seconds of your day, because if you don't, you're going to load yesterday's program, which might not serve you for today's strand. Everybody asks me if I take drugs and things like that, but when you meet people that I'm enamored by, like Donald Hoffman, you'll understand why I'm so excited about this stuff. So your goal is to claim control of the program loading. You have to claim control of that moment when a program is loading and write your own program that is suitable and in support for you to crush your day and your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So here's the thing. Now I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I'll put it in terms that everybody can understand. We must recognize that this program I'm referring to, that was programmed by not only yesterday by your mother, father, teacher, preacher, but this program is writable. I don't know if you know what that means, so let me go a little further. So you remember back in the old days, if you're my age, we had something called floppy disks, which is insane because we used to have disks that held like a megabyte on them, and now we have like, you know, I don't even know how big it is, but it's big, right? So in the old days, we used to have these floppy disks, and they had a switch on the side that you could flip. You know, the A drive disks or a floppy disk, you could flip a little switch on the side that would either make them write protected, right, or writable. So when something was write protected, you'd flip the switch. It meant that you couldn't write anything over what was on the program. So I think a lot of people are waking up in the morning with a write protected program. So I just want you to be aware of the fact that in this first couple of seconds, you have to consciously flip that switch and make it writable, right? So your success begins in the morning by removing the write protected switch and becoming open to the unknown, unlimited possibilities of your awesomeness. You don't know how awesome the day will be, so don't make any assumptions. Don't get overly excited. Don't get underly excited. Just recognize that you don't even know what would happen if you flip that switch and you allow yourself to write your own program and dictate the way that day is going to be, and put a degree of awesomeness and unlimited awesomeness on that day. You don't know how good it'll be. But all I can tell you from experience is it's pretty damn good. So how do we write our own program for the day? So that's my model morning. And that's what I wanted to start off with that, because I'm going to fly through this now. I wanted to start off by just showing you why this is so powerful, because I can tell you a model morning, like Hal Elrod does a morning, the miracle morning. Everybody, Jim Quick spoke about a miracle morning, and they give you great things. But then I see people not do it, and the reason why is I don't think they understand the value of it. So I wanted to start off that way and understand, make you understand that you can rewrite your whole program, you can rewire your whole brain, and you can actually have an unfair advantage at leveraging yourself for success if you do this stuff. I've been doing this for about 9 years now, and I don't know. Look at me, Mom. So I've been, like I said, 9 years, and I just want to share my structure so that you can take what it is about it that you like and then tailor a routine that suits you best. Don't chop it up so much that it becomes ineffective, but make it your own, right? It's been a game changer for me, to say the least. So if you want to write this down, then that might be a good idea. So you can see what Dragons is. It's a 10-step program. And then you can kind of just start practicing it and make it your own. I took things like the Miracle Morning and things I heard from some of the greats, and I made what I call the Rise Up Great Day Morning. That's why I always start off with you by saying great morning to everybody. Okay, so step one, so important. Before you even consider this, know with absolute childlike, dreamlike clarity. And I say childlike because children not only know what they want, but they can actually go to it and experience it, right? So I say know with absolute childlike clarity what it is that you want and why, so that you know what is and what isn't in support of it, right? Very important to do that, because Henry Ford says if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Don't just wake up with the intention of being awesome and having a good life. Draw out exactly what you want, this compelling future full of this vision of value, all of that stuff. Draw a circle around it and attach everything about being in that situation that makes your life improve to the point where you can actually feel how that is. Now, one of the things that I do in the morning is I listen to music. And this is really important. If you can't go into the future state and experience the awesomeness of what it is that you want, you'll never fight for it on the days that things are not so easy, right? So one of the easiest ways that any human can do this, because I know all of you have that certain type of music that you get in your car and you start listening to the point where you can start tearing and getting like emotional about your future, right, Chick?
Yeah.
I just called you Chick.
Wow.
Is that a little bit like if a feminist was here?
That's a sexy version of chicken.
It's sexy? Okay, good. Okay, because I don't want to like diminish your womanness.
She's a hot chick.
She's a chick. Petite poule. That's what I say, petit poulet. So in any case, very, very important to create the value of it. So that's step one. Do not even try this model morning until you've made it super clear what it is that you want. Because once you understand what you want, then it's easier to identify what comes in and what doesn't. What supports it and what doesn't. You can stay away from things like fake work and just losing track and getting distracted and stuff. A lot of people get distracted, according to Nir IL, they get distracted because they don't even know where they're going. Therefore, maybe they're not distracted, maybe they're just confused. So that's step one, know where you want to go, why, and its value. Step two, right? That's the moment. Step two is that second when we move from unconscious to conscious. And I just call it unconscious to conscious gratitude. First thing you want to do is get present. The super highway to the present moment is gratitude. So all you want to do is you want to catch it as soon as you can. And this takes practice. As soon as you go from unconscious to conscious and your eyes open, I'm just going to challenge you to just start off by mechanically at first saying thank you. Now, why would you say thank you? What would be the first thing that you could experience gratitude for? Well, your heart is beating, your lungs are breathing, you've just been credited in the video game of life a new 24 hours. You should say thank you for that, right? So it's a simple process of saying thank you. Now, the next level in step two, because 5 seconds later, you start to get a little bit more conscious, and that's when you can upgrade your gratitude. I always upgrade it by just recognizing the things that matter most. My kids, chicken, little ducky coming here, and all the great success and the people that we help, the roof over my head, the water, the bed, everything that I'm truly, truly grateful for. So here I am, step 2, I'm in a state of gratitude. Step 3 is super, super important. They're all super important. Set the intention and theme for the day. So now, I see that Tamsin Astor is listening in Clubhouse. You got to read her book, Force of Habit. Anybody that's a real, like legit 3rd degree black belt in habits will tell you about these things called cues, right? So because I'm not like fully conscious yet, I'm in a state of gratitude. On the floor next to my bed, I just want you to know that I have my exercise shorts and my sneakers. Right? So I always want to lace them up. But the first thing I want to do is set my intention for the day. So when I touch my feet to the ground, and there's a sensory thing, it's a cue as well. When I touch my feet to the ground, the intention is that, okay, game on, right? So I want you to take advantage of that moment and set the intention. So when I touch my feet to the ground, I say out loud, but not loud enough that I'll wake Chicken up because her day starts a little bit later. I say, how can I help? So I look up and I say it. I don't just think it, I say, how can I help? Now you can have your own. The reason why I say, how can I help, is because it puts me in the identity and place and state management of a servant, right? And the reason why I want to be in a servant is because what I do, my intention is to serve others. If I don't do that, I have a tendency of trying to save others, not serve others. So when I say, how can I help? What it reminds me is like, I don't know, let me see. So I go into this motion for the rest of the day with curious compassion. So that sets my identity as a curiously compassionate person for that day. And that's a big reason that I've become successful, is because I'm curiously compassionate about everybody that I come across, which means I'm going to ask them, how can I help you? I used to skip that step. And because of that, I would run around all day trying to save people with a cape on my back, right? And that also, by the way, when I get into that curious compassion, it also makes me feel significant, and it helps me identify with who I am. That's really important. I haven't even looked at myself in a mirror, and already I feel significant. Step 4, legit, coffee, right? I go to the bathroom and I have coffee. Everybody's got their own opinion about coffee, and I know some of you out there think that if you drink coffee, you'll live forever. Some of you think that it's bad. Step 4 is coffee. I always say, from my cold, dead hands, you're going to take my coffee away from me, right? Coffee's important, and Chicken gets a cup of coffee brought to her every morning as well. Step 5, upload supportive forward-moving data. Okay, very important. So remember, I'm rewriting my program for the day. So right now, my program has started off with a base of gratitude, the servant mentality, all that stuff. So it's kind of like Etch-a-Sketch from yesterday, and it's ready for new info. So with my coffee, no social media, by the way, no scrolling, no outside-in influence. That's not decided on by me. So upload supportive forward-moving data. So I read books, right? This is the one I'm reading at the moment. I just read Indistractable. I watch YouTube videos. Some of my friends send me inspirational stuff. I'm very, very particular about protecting what comes in, the upload. So books, videos, podcasts, no social media, protect the real estate of your program. So that's when I start deciding what comes in, which helps me rewrite my program. All positive, forward-moving stuff in support of step 1, where I want to go and why. Step 6, after I upload the information, it's time to journal and unpack that information. So as I'm going through, traditionally, I'll scribble down some thoughts that I'm pulling from the upload, or I'll dictate it on my phone. But what I'm doing right now is I'm reading you a journal entry that came from one of these moments. After I had all these thoughts, I go and write it down. And there's something about when you take a thought and you write it down, the intention is you solidify it. You take ownership of it. As a matter of fact, even further, by me taking what I wrote down, which is how I explain things to myself and make sense of them, and now I deliver it to you, right? If you want to keep something, give it away. Now, all of a sudden, I've gone to a completely different level of ownership of explaining it to you as I'm doing right now. That's how I rewrite my program for the day. Everything that I've thought about, written down, and now explained to you, spoke to Chicken about, I'll talk about it on Clubhouse, all that stuff, that's how I make sure that it becomes mine. So, step 7, after we journal, exercise. Jim Quick talks about the fact that even if you exercise for 5 minutes in the morning, it's the most effective time to exercise, and it really helps with your brain power. So almost every morning, and I say almost because if I go out with Chicken to a nice dinner and we hang out with friends and they keep us there, I don't wake up super early. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. That's what I've decided to do because that's my real estate and it's mine. So I exercise for 30 minutes, and like I said, that's the most valuable time. That's when the music is on. I'm going into that forward place. I'm getting emotionally attached to where I want to go, to the point where I believe it's happening. I'm on stage, I'm a rock star, all that stuff. I'm very, very forward thinking. So that's step 7. Step 8, water chug and fueling. Okay, so I am a huge advocate of water. I don't know if you know this, but if you don't drink water, where do you get water from in your body? Your body's 80% water. If you don't drink water and hydrate, your body's recycling used water, and there's a cascade of problems associated with that. So I like to flush. I like all of that aspect of water and hydrate. I drink 33 ounces of water, and it's not even like 8 o'clock yet. As a matter of fact, I haven't even woken Chicken up yet, so it's not even 7. That's when Chicky gets up. So step 8, I do a water chug, whether I like it or not, and now it's on autopilot. I don't even know. And I have a fueling. And we have our own fuelings that we use for our program, but a fueling by concept is something that has not only calories, but a balance of nutrition, a nutritional footprint. That's what we offer our clients that are on our program and stuff, but the concept is what I want you to grab. Step 9, I shower. Chicken loves the fact that I shower because when I come in the room and wake her up as she's starting her day, she goes, and she smells a nice, fresh, clean dragon, which is a big part of your morning, is right? Yeah. So that's step 9. Guys, I'm crushing my day already, and I'm ready for this that I'm gonna do. I'm crushing my day. Nothing can stop me. You say no to me, it means nothing. I'm still coming. My goals that I've set for the day are 100% guaranteed because I've already decided that they're happening. My mind is right, my health is right, my energy's up. Man, imagine if you did this. Step 10, debrief. This is a big part of my morning. Debrief with your partner for further support on the theme and intention, and also become open, because you have to also remain open. Don't just think that you're a know-it-all and you have all the answers. Still remain open to receiving information from your partner. So one of the things, and this is what we do on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, Chicken and I sit there and we share, we go over our dreams, right? And we share, sometimes they're very, very strange, like I said before, but Chicken reads and she's in Buddhism and all that stuff. So we always make sure that we share our notes. So she's already heard about this stuff. She's told me what she thought about it, and then it's just further ownership of it. And then I told you about the music. That's right. And then just a quick little reminder about the music as we close out. The music places me in an emotional future state. I wrote this down and I wanted to share it with you. In an emotional future state where I'm 85% there, right? So 30 minutes later, my belief system has changed. So I find that when I'm on the Peloton and I listen to music for 30 minutes, just like when I'm rocking out in my car, my belief system has changed to one of being in that future state and acting the part, right? So I'm unconsciously there. So that's another thing. I think a lot of people put a little bit too much weight on believing that you can do things and being motivated and having willpower and stuff like that. I understand that, but if you wake up and you don't believe in yourself and you don't have willpower and you're not motivated, then that game's not going to work. So what I'm saying is build your own belief system, your own motivation, your own willpower. Don't call upon it from yesterday's program. Write your own program in the morning and win the morning, win the day. Now, we didn't get a chance to say this, but today's episode, we got into Minimalist, we forgot about it. Today's episode, as always, is sponsored by Karma Mind. So let's hear the Karma Mind commercial.
A guided meditation podcast rooted in Buddha's beautiful teaching.
Did you hear that with
And
that
then
beautiful
the
voice?
from-
Oh, that's right. We just got one of those bowls, and we forgot to
it's a
bring it
big
here.
singing bowl, yeah.
Awesome. So anyway, that's a wrap for today. I hope that this information fueled your fire for the day. Remember, my intention with the Rise Ups is to make this part of your morning structure. You know, you come here on Mondays and Fridays, you listen to my podcast, you join us in the clubhouse rooms. We want to be part of that upload for the day. But remember something, if you learn something today, give it away, and that's the only way it's going to stay. So you push the share button, refer a friend, go give us a referral, write us a review on Karma Mind and on Rise Up with Dragon, and we very, very greatly appreciate it, because what our intention is to take what's working for us, because we move from the dark to the light, from messed up to blessed up, and share it with the masses, because that's what gives us joy. So I guess that we are selfish bastards, because all we want to do is help you, because it makes us feel good. So love and appreciate you all. We'll have our closeout and have a wonderful day. We'll move into the clubhouse room.